Hello and welcome to Business Today Television. I am Siddharth Zarabi, and with me today a special guest, Ganapathy Subramaniam, the Chief Operating Officer and Executive Director at Tata Consultancy Services. Welcome to the show, Mr. Subramaniam. And first of all, let me congratulate you and the company and all your employees for crossing the 10,000 crore mark in net profit for the first time. How does it feel?
Thank you, Siddharth. For wishing you and your viewers all the very best, and it's a great quarter. And achieving that 10,000 crore profit is in a quarter, the first time, is a terrific feeling.
Wonderful. Can you tell our viewers what contributed to this performance, and do you expect this kind of performance to sustain given some of the headwinds that are being spoken about globally?
Overall, we had a very broad-based growth. I think all our markets did well. All verticals did well. Retail and CPG vertical really grew 25% plus year on year. Banking financial services, which is our largest vertical, grew by about 3% sequentially, on top of the great quarter that they had in the last quarter. Overall, we saw a broad-based growth. And what we also saw is that, we have the products and services to be relevant to our customers, whether they are optimizing, whether they want resilience, or they want to transform their business. In all these cases, I think our propositions are very relevant to our customers, and they are doing more with us than with others.
Leading lights of economic commentary globally are talking about the possibility of a recession in the United States, Europe, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, take your pick. What are you picking up and hearing from your clients with regard to how confident or pessimistic they are about their own economies?
See, we always operate on a basis that macros are something that we need to take note of, but we don't pay too much attention to that, right? Because, we believe that whether it is irrespective of whether it is a recession or whether they are in optimization mode or whatever be the thing, technology has become the staple, right? Technology seems to be the solution for everything. I think the pandemic has proven that beyond any doubts. So from that perspective, I think we always, are focused on clients. Look at clients what are they aiming to do in the short term, what are they aiming to do in the long term, and then tune ourselves accordingly. So from that perspective, I think there are nothing that I can call out as a very big thing, barring the fact that in Europe our customers are quite worried about the energy crisis that is there, and whether they all seem to be really focused on how they are going to tide over this particular winter. In that case, for example, if there is an energy crisis, manufacturing could get affected, factories could get shut down, and that will have some impact on the manufacturing vertical of our business, right? But otherwise, retail is doing well. There may be some, for example, discretionary retail or fashion retail those kind of things might get affected a bit. But overall, we don't see any other thing except manufacturing to call out on this front.
How are you managing the Forex situation? I think that's perhaps one of the biggest challenges that you must be facing, the rupee and how it is performing vis-a-vis other currencies. Well, what's your view on this?
No, there is the volatility in the Forex market is quite significant during the last quarter, but we have a very established hedging program, number one, to deal with it. At the same time, we have a very diversified business. We have a global operation. In each one of these countries where we are present, we have a local workforce and local costs and all that. So that naturally acts as a hedge, in terms of some of this. But our intent is to make sure that, we protect the downside, right? Rather than, worrying about the upside. Right?
One of the other notables that's been noticed and spoken about as far as this quarter that we are discussing is concerned is the rate of attrition at around 21.5%. How significant is that? And more importantly, what's your own view about the coming quarters when it comes to this important metric?
See, that 21.5% is on a last 12 months basis. The way that it is calculated, that it will remain at that high for the next few quarters, right? But I think as I explained last time when we spoke, Siddharth, that this whole attrition and the demand for technology services happened because many companies did not hire during the pandemic, and everybody scrambled to acquire those resources. And we believe that that's particular phase is over. And many customers whom I've talked to, they believe that they have the necessary talent acquired now, and it will taper down. And internally within TCS also, we are seeing that the absolute numbers attrition is coming down. And I think our focus is to retain our employees, the employees that have been with us for a longer term. We would like to retain them. And we've also added a lot of fresh talent. We hired about 100,000 people last year. This year, we already in the first half of the financial year, we have added 35,000 freshers to the whole thing. For the financial year 24, we have already started hiring. The national qualifier test, we're really pleased to say that 500,000 people have registered into that written test. So I think there are no supply chain side issues, right, for us from a talent perspective.
What about those who may be moonlighting? Would you continue to retain them? You triggered this debate some months back on a Business Today event, and we have heard all manner of people comment about it, including the HR head of the company. You think this is a debate that will continue for some time?
No, I think it'll be there. That debate can continue, but the way that I will answer this is that, look, first of all, we have a long-term commitment to our employees, right? And that commitment is reciprocal, right? That's the first thing. Second is that we have very clearly codified in our contracts, with our employment contract with our employees, that they will work only for TCS and they should not work for anybody else, right? And as I mentioned in that conference, we feel that it's an ethical issue, and it doesn't. I think the reciprocity of commitment is very critical, and it's against unless that is there, it's against our own value systems. The way that I'll put it. On a lighter side, I will also say that day before yesterday was a full moon day, and number of employees, and including me, were at the launch of the company, enjoying the moonlight and really worked out of our office. It felt really great.
Has the hand of your HR department been forced on this in the recent past?
No, see, there are always some debates, but our view is that, look, the IT sector has different operating models, right? There are services that one can provide which may allow such a moonlighting kind of model, right? But our business, our operating model, we work with the Fortune 1000 companies, and the way that we deliver some of those mission critical systems, engagements, etc. We believe that the reciprocity of commitment is very crucial for us.
One final question, because we are talking about employment. Where does the work from home, hybrid work environment stand from your perspective, both as a leader of the industry and overall the latest trends, especially from the younger elements of the workforce that you may be observing? If you could share those with our viewers.
Overall, the return to office is something that's been pushed by us, and we have asked all our employees to come back to work and come back to their base location. Right? It's very important for us because we would like to get them into offices for strategic discussions, for typical face-to-face interactions, or client visits management, and all of that. So about 30 to 35% of our employees are already coming to office at least 2 to 3 days a week. That's the trend that we have seen. And I think that will probably continue. I think the future of work is a larger debate. And we are also exploring that in terms of, should we go for a hybrid? Should we go for a full-time back to work in offices? And the people who have come to office, they all unanimously giving us feedback that, look, this is something that we are missing. And we have missed, and, we would like to have this because, we all have grown up in our companies, looking at our seniors, looking at our peers, building our own talent, and then receiving mentorship from many people. And that's something that you will never be able to get it holistically when you work in a pure remote environment.
Absolutely.
I think my own perspective, I think people understand that, and it's only a question of time before they all back in office.
Absolutely. And I don't think it's just about understanding. Perhaps a lot of them will also enjoy the perks of being in beautiful campuses like yours. And that itself is a fantastic thing to be. Mr. Subramaniam, as we end this, just for our viewers, a stellar performance in the second quarter, beating most estimates of the street, and fantastic really set of numbers, which is going to tell everyone that the IT story in India is continuing and continuing well. Mr. Subramaniam, thank you very much for your time as always. It's been a pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you, Siddharth. Appreciate you for having me with you.
Thank you and bye-bye.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.